Learn to Let Go in Life. Inspired by Dr. Joseph Murphy. Written and published by Audible Aria. Do you ever feel like you're trying really hard to make things happen in your life, but they just aren't working out the way you want them to? It's like you're pushing and pushing, but nothing seems to be happening. Well, maybe what you need to do is learn to let go. Learn to Let Go in Life really discusses one of the key elements to having your prayers answered and your manifestations occur, which is the union between the subconscious and the conscious mind and letting go. If you're not getting what you ask for in your prayers, it might be because you lack confidence and try too hard. Many people don't understand how their subconscious mind works, and that can stop their prayers from being answered. When you understand your mind better, you feel more sure of yourself. Here's the deal. Once your subconscious mind accepts an idea, it starts working on it right away. It uses all its power and follows all the rules of your deep mind, whether the idea is good or bad. If you think negatively, it can bring you trouble and confusion, but if you think positively, it can bring you guidance and peace. The key is to have constructive thoughts, to be in harmony with everything, and to care about others. Then the right answer will come naturally. So the only thing you need to do to beat failure is to make your subconscious believe in what you want. Once you feel it's real, your mind will take care of the rest. But here's something important to remember. If you truly want something to happen, it's not about forcing it, it's about trusting that it will happen. Why? Because your subconscious mind is a powerful tool that can help you achieve your goals. When you trust that something will happen, your subconscious mind kicks into action. It starts working behind the scenes to make it happen. You might not even realize it, but your subconscious is constantly at work, influencing your thoughts, actions, and decisions. On the other hand, if you try too hard and force things to happen, it often backfires. Saying things like, "I tried so hard," doesn't make a difference to your subconscious. It doesn't respond to force or pressure. Instead, it responds to your beliefs and acceptance. If you keep saying things like, "Things are getting worse," "I'll never find a solution," or "I'm stuck," your subconscious won't help you. It's like being a soldier who's just marching in one spot. You're not moving forward or backward. Basically, you're not going anywhere. Imagine you got in a taxi and gave the driver 6 different destinations. In 5 minutes, he'd be totally confused and might refuse to take you anywhere. It's the same when you're dealing with your subconscious mind. Have you ever faced a problem that seemed too big to solve? Whether it's an illness, not having enough of something, or feeling stuck, it can be overwhelming. But here's something to remember. Deep inside you, there's a super smart part of your mind that knows the answer. The first step is to firmly decide that there is a solution to your problem. This decision is crucial because it sets the stage for your mind to start working on finding that solution. Even if you don't know what the solution is yet, believing that it exists is the key. This belief activates the super smart part of your mind, which works behind the scenes to find the answer. It's like placing an order with the universe. Once you've made up your mind about this in your regular thoughts, it's as if you've sent out a signal, and the universe starts working to fulfill your request. Of course, this doesn't mean that the solution will magically appear without any effort on your part. You still need to take action and be open to opportunities that come your way. But by firmly believing that there is a solution, you create a powerful mindset that attracts solutions to you. Think about this story. A homeowner argued with a repairman who charged $200 for fixing a broken boiler. The repairman explained, "I only charge 5 cents for the missing bolt. The rest was for knowing what to do." Your subconscious mind works like that repairman. It knows exactly how to fix your body and your problems. If you ask for good health, your subconscious will make it happen. But you've got to relax and let it work. Just take it easy and let the power of God handle things. There's a special power that can heal you. It's the same power that created you from just one tiny cell. It knows everything about how your body works, so just relax and let it do its thing. This amazing healing power is already flowing through you. Don't worry about the details or how it's going to happen. Just focus on the end result you want. Imagine how happy you'll feel when your problem is solved, whether it's your health, money, or finding a job. Remember how good it felt when you got better from being really sick. That feeling is what you need to focus on, because it's like a sign that your subconscious is working on it. Think about your new idea as if it's already happened, not something in the future, but right now. When you pray or ask for help, do it like it's already happening, using your subconscious mind. Don't think about any obstacles or try to force things to happen. Just imagine the outcome you want and keep believing it will happen. Sometimes our brains like to make things more complicated than they need to be. We overthink, worry, and stress about problems, making them seem bigger than they really are. But what if there was a simpler way to approach life's challenges? Think about how a child believes in miracles. They have this incredible ability to see the world with wonder and optimism. They don't get caught up in all the complexities of life. Instead, they believe that anything is possible. So, when you're facing a problem, try tapping into that childlike belief. Picture yourself without the problem, feeling free and happy. Imagine what it would be like to live your life without that weight on your shoulders. By keeping things simple and focusing on what you want instead of what you don't want, you're sending a clear message to your brain. You're telling it to focus on the solution, not the problem. And when you believe in the possibility of miracles, you open yourself up to all sorts of opportunities and possibilities. Émile Coué, a famous psychologist from France who came to America about 50 years ago, talked about something called the law of reversed effort. He said that when what you want and what you imagine don't match up, your imagination usually wins. Let me explain with an example. Imagine someone asks you to walk on a plank lying on the ground. You'd probably do it without any problem. But what if that same plank was placed 20 feet above the ground between two walls? Would you still walk on it? Most likely not, because your fear of falling would be stronger than your desire to walk on it. The idea of falling would take over, making you feel like you can't do it. This is how the stronger idea wins in your mind. When you put in a lot of mental effort, it often backfires and leads to the opposite of what you want. You might start feeling like you're powerless to change your situation, but the better way is to let things happen naturally. If you're saying things like, "I want to get better, but I just can't. I've tried so hard, I've prayed a lot, I've used all my willpower," then you're making a mistake. Don't try to force your subconscious mind to accept your idea by using willpower. It won't work, and you'll end up getting the opposite of what you wanted. Many students have experienced this. During exams or when reading their papers, suddenly they can't remember anything. Their minds go blank, and they can't think of a single relevant thing. The harder they try to remember, the more the answers seem to slip away. But once they leave the exam room and relax, the answers start coming back to them. This is because trying too hard to remember actually makes it harder to remember. It's like when you push something away, it comes back stronger. This is an example of the law of reversed efforts, where you end up with the opposite of what you wanted. I always advise students to start with the simple questions first. Answering them helps you relax your mind and get into a receptive state. When your mind is relaxed, the wisdom stored in your subconscious can come to the surface. When you try to force your mind to remember, it's like assuming there's something blocking it, something stopping it from doing its job. But here's the thing. Your mind is already incredibly powerful. It's capable of amazing things, so why would you need to add more power to something that's already all-powerful? Instead of getting frustrated and trying to force your mind to remember, try shifting your focus. Instead of dwelling on the problem, focus on finding solutions. When you direct your energy towards finding a way forward, rather than getting stuck on what went wrong, you'll be amazed at how things start to work out. It's like shining a light in the darkness. When you focus on the solution, you illuminate the path ahead, making it easier to find your way through even the toughest challenges. So the next time you find yourself struggling to remember something, or facing any other problem for that matter, try letting go of the need to force it. Instead, trust in the power of your mind and focus on finding solutions. You might be surprised at what you're capable of when you approach things with a positive mindset. In the book of Matthew, it talks about how if two people agree on something, it will happen. It means that the power around us, the invisible intelligence, and our thoughts and feelings control what happens to us. These two are like when your thoughts and feelings come together and agree on something. Have you ever noticed how sometimes it feels like your brain and your heart are not on the same page? It's like they're each pulling in different directions, making it hard for you to focus or make decisions. But what if I told you that when they work together, incredible things can happen? Imagine your brain and heart as two parts coming together, like male and female parts in nature. When they join forces, they create a powerful synergy that can move mountains. In the same way, when your thoughts and feelings align, it sets the stage for your desires to manifest. Think about it like this. When your mind isn't busy arguing with itself, your prayers, your deepest desires, have a clearer path to be answered. It's like removing obstacles from a river. Once the flow is unhindered, everything can move smoothly. The concept of two doesn't just refer to your brain and heart. It can also represent you and what you want, or even your thoughts and feelings. When these aspects of yourself come into harmony, magic can happen. So how do you achieve this harmony? Start by listening to both your mind and your heart. Pay attention to your thoughts and emotions, and notice where they align and where they conflict. Practice mindfulness and self-awareness to bring these two aspects of yourself into balance. To stop any arguing between your desires and imagination, relax and get into a sleepy state. This makes your conscious mind take a break, which is good for feeding your subconscious mind. The best time for this is before sleeping, because that's when your subconscious is most active. Negative thoughts that stop your desires from happening don't bother you when you're sleepy. Have you ever imagined something so vividly that it felt like it was actually happening? Maybe you pictured yourself achieving a goal or overcoming a challenge, and it filled you with joy and excitement. Well, here's the thing. When you imagine something and feel really good about it, your mind has a remarkable ability to make it real. It's like magic happening inside your brain. When you focus your imagination on a specific outcome and genuinely feel positive emotions about it, your subconscious mind goes to work to bring it into reality. Many people have found solutions to their problems by harnessing the power of their imagination in a focused way. They believe in the incredible potential of their thoughts and feelings to shape their lives. They understand that whatever they can imagine and truly feel has the potential to come true. It's not just wishful thinking, it's tapping into the extraordinary power of the subconscious mind. It's crucial for everyone to realize just how powerful their subconscious mind can be. Whether you're aware of it or not, your subconscious is constantly at work, influencing your thoughts, emotions, and actions. By harnessing the power of your imagination and directing it towards your goals, you can unlock a world of possibilities. Let me tell you a story about a young girl who had a legal problem. She wanted things to work out well, but she kept thinking about failure and bad things happening. The lawsuit she was dealing with seemed to be going nowhere. Someone suggested that before she went to sleep each night, she should relax and imagine a happy ending to her problem. She believed in the power of fairness, truth, and love. She imagined her lawyer talking to her about how everything had worked out perfectly. She rehearsed this scene in her mind every night. During the day, when she felt scared, she would replay this imagined conversation in her head, with all the details. The voice, the smile, everything. She did this so much that it became like a habit. After a few weeks, her lawyer called her and told her exactly what she had been imagining all along. She kept believing that things would work out, and they did. She imagined her lawyer telling her about the happy ending, and that's exactly what happened. This is what the psalmist meant when he said, Let the words I speak, which are my thoughts and feelings, be pleasing to you, O Lord, who represents the law of my subconscious mind, my strength and my helper. Your deep inner thoughts and wisdom can free you from sickness, bondage and unhappiness. Nikola Tesla, a brilliant inventor, knew this well. When he got an idea for a new invention, he would imagine it fully, knowing that his subconscious mind would help him figure out all the details needed to make it real. He would relax and let go, trusting that the infinite intelligence within him would bring everything together perfectly. Instead of worrying about mistakes, he focused on making improvements. He let his subconscious mind do the work, and his inventions always turned out just as he imagined. He believed in the power of letting go and letting the higher intelligence within him solve his problems. A famous chemist, Frederick von Stradnitz-Kekuli, had a tough problem to solve. He was trying for a long time to figure out how to rearrange the atoms in the benzene formula, but he just couldn't do it. He was getting frustrated and tired, so he decided to trust his deeper mind and let it take over. One day, as he was getting on a bus in London, he suddenly had a picture in his mind of a snake biting its own tail and spinning around like a pinwheel. This image gave him the answer he needed: how to rearrange the atoms in a circular pattern, which is called the benzene ring. Sometimes you try really hard to solve a problem using your regular thinking. You collect all the information and do everything you can, but you still hit a wall. That's when you need to relax and let your deeper mind take over. It knows everything and has the skills to get things done. That's the amazing power of your deeper mind. Now, it's important to remember that other people can't control you. They might say things, but you can choose not to let their words affect you. There's an old saying that goes, "Every time a sheep bleats, it loses a mouthful of hay." So stop complaining and feeling sorry for yourself. You have all the power you need inside you. No one else can make you upset unless you let them. It's all in your own mind. You might think, "This person is controlling me, telling me what to do and think," but really, you're the boss of your own mind. You don't have to let others control you. You have the power, not them. So don't give them that power. You're connected to something bigger and stronger like God or the universe. And if you have that on your side, who can be against you? You're in charge of your thoughts and feelings. If someone makes you angry or upset, it's because you let them. They seem to have power over you because you're easily influenced. When you're filled with negative feelings, you create yourself. Anything you do tends to go wrong. I overheard a man complaining about all the bad things happening in the world: crime, violence, corruption, and more. I reminded her of the saying, "Don't judge others, or you'll be judged yourself." Who gave him the right to judge others? No one but himself. When you judge others, it's like making a decision in your own mind about them. It affects your own thoughts, feelings, and life. What you think about others, you end up creating in your own life. He didn't realize what he was doing to himself. He was harming himself without even knowing it. I told him, "You need to be careful with your resentments, hatred, and disdain because you're the one thinking them. These negative feelings make your soul, which is like God's home, dirty. Look at what they've caused you: ulcers, high blood pressure, and skin rashes. You've spent a lot of money seeing doctors because of them. Every time you talk like that, it's like losing energy, enthusiasm, and good judgment. It's also harming your health. Let people be who they are, with all their quirks, oddities, and even their different religious beliefs. If someone believes in things like Satan or evil spirits, that's their choice. It doesn't have to bother you. You can't force them to believe what you believe, and it's not your job to change them. The Bible says, "Let those who are dirty be dirty still, and those who are holy be holy still." So let people have their own religious beliefs, rules, and teachings. You can still treat them with kindness and respect. If your dad believes in a punishing God or evil spirits, it's okay. It doesn't affect you. Let him believe what he wants. Give people the freedom to follow whatever religion or belief system they choose. It doesn't have to bother you at all. Your job is to focus on praising and honoring God in your own life. When you're filled with peace and love, it spreads to others around you, blessing everyone you meet. You're like a beacon of God's love, shining bright for all to see. When you visit someone in the hospital, it's important to be calm and peaceful. If you're all worked up and upset, you could actually make them feel worse. So it's better to stay away if you're not feeling right. But if you do go, you should bring positivity and hope. You can talk to them about believing in God's healing power and remind them that anything is possible with faith. You can help them imagine themselves getting better and doing the things they love. By being calm and positive, you can give them a boost of grace, love, and confidence. Remember, being quiet and confident is where your strength lies, not in getting all worked up over things you can't change. You might not like what some people do, like crimes such as mugging or rape, but you can't control others. You can only control yourself. You do what you can to make things better. You write to your leaders, vote, and cooperate with the police. But the most important thing is to keep your own mind calm and peaceful. Getting upset, angry, or resentful doesn't solve anything. It only makes things worse. When you're angry, you're just adding more negativity to the world. It's okay to disagree with things, but you should do it calmly. You're interested in the world, but you don't let its negativity affect you. You walk in the love of God. For example, a man got really mad after reading something in the newspaper. But I told him, "It's just a piece of paper with some writing on it. It can't hurt you. Getting too angry can actually make you sick. It's not worth it to let something like a newspaper upset you so much. Engaging in harmful actions isn't a good way to solve the world's problems. Everyone has the right to express their opinions, like the columnist did, but you also have the right to disagree and share your own beliefs. You can express yourself calmly without holding on to anger or seeking revenge, as that only hurts you in the end. It's important to realize that the columnist doesn't control your health, happiness, or peace of mind. You're the one in control of your own thoughts and feelings. It's not about ignoring the world's problems, but about maintaining your inner peace and staying balanced. By keeping a calm mind, you're better able to handle challenges and make a positive impact. It's okay to feel passionate about issues like crime and injustice, but it's also important to work towards solutions without losing your inner peace. Remember, governments are reflections of the people they represent, so by working together we can create positive change. Now, changing our government requires a change within ourselves, because our government reflects the thoughts and beliefs of many people. To make this change, we must renew our minds and align ourselves with what is good and acceptable. If someone harbors bitterness and hatred towards others, they are not in a position to bring about positive change because they are consumed by inner conflict. It is said that someone who can control their emotions is more powerful than someone who conquers a city. Thus, it's important to manage our emotions and inner peace. A person struggling internally cannot offer much help to others. They may struggle to be a good friend, parent, or co-worker. Success in navigating life's challenges is closely linked to our inner peace, balance, and understanding of our own intelligence. Just like a calm doctor is better equipped to perform surgery than one who is agitated, our inner state affects those around us. Complaining and dwelling on pain only perpetuates suffering. As Marcus Aurelius said centuries ago, our true selves cannot be harmed by external forces. Recognizing this truth, why do we allow ourselves to be affected by them? Each of us possesses an inner strength that remains untouched by external circumstances. This understanding forms the core of our identity. You're reminded that if you're doing good, you're protected. It's like having a shield against bad things happening. Good things come to those who follow the rules and live honestly. Angels are like guardians who keep an eye on you and protect you from harm. They're there to help you, like catching you if you stumble. When you're feeling peaceful, it's hard for anything bad to bother you. It's like a powerful truth. When you're connected to peace, It's like tapping into a river of calmness. So, if you're feeling peaceful, who can cause trouble for you? Nobody has the ability to make you upset. It's your own thoughts that have the power. You control how you think. Whether something is good or bad depends on your thoughts. It's like a laser beam or nuclear energy. They're not inherently bad. It's how they're used. Don't let fear, anger, or feeling not good enough hold you back. What we see in the world reflects what we believe inside. Our beliefs color everything we see. Sometimes we project our own feelings onto others and create a distorted view of things. We're here to take part in life and society, and we should carry the responsibility of governing ourselves with divine ideas and love. Imagine if our government was run by criminals. We wouldn't accept it. But what about the negative thoughts in our own minds? We should be governed by positive ideas, but if we're controlled by anger and fear, it's not a good situation. What kind of outcomes can we expect from that kind of thinking? Let your mind be governed by positive ideas and love. That's the kind of government that brings true freedom. It's the only government that can ensure peace, health, happiness, success, and security. No government in the world can promise you these things. They come from within yourself. No government can give you anything without taking something away first. Indeed, you have control over your reactions. You can see the world with a clear mind, without letting emotions cloud your judgment. Even when someone says something upsetting, like a news reporter spreading negative information, you don't have to let it bother you. You can simply think, I disagree with them. Everything else they say is probably wrong. That's your way of thinking. You don't have to rush out and buy sleeping pills just because someone suggests you might have trouble sleeping. If you do, you're letting them control you. So what really influences you? Is it your own thoughts, plans, and beliefs? Or do you let others' opinions sway you? If someone tells you that you're a failure and won't achieve anything, what would you do? You'd say, I'm meant to succeed. I have to succeed. God doesn't fail, and being with God means I'm already winning. I'll succeed in my own special way because I'm filled with the power of the Almighty. Every time someone predicts failure for you, it should motivate you to strengthen your faith in a power that never fails. In short, we need to wake up and stop blaming others or our circumstances. There's no one to blame but ourselves. We need to realize that there's one powerful force, and that's the creative power within us. The power to control your life is within you. Nobody else has the power to control you unless you allow it. Are you letting family members, like your in-laws, dictate your thoughts? Or are you taking charge of your own mind? Do you start your day with prayer, filling your mind with timeless truths? Do you say, God is my guide, my leader, my counselor, the one who provides everything I need? I trust that everything I need comes from Him. Understand that the power to create is within you. You don't have to be influenced by other people's thoughts. You should value your own thoughts. As it's said in the Bible, no one can harm someone who is protected by God. Being an Israelite isn't about being from a specific race. It's about recognizing the presence of God within you and realizing that your thoughts are powerful. When you acknowledge the authority of your spirit and the significance of your thoughts, you become like an Israelite. Other people's thoughts about you have no power over you unless you accept them as your own. So make sure you wish for others what you wish for yourself: health, happiness, and peace. Because you're the one in control of your thoughts. If you wish for anything else for them, you're ultimately wishing it for yourself. Take a moment to ask yourself, would I be okay living with the thoughts and wishes I have for this other person? If the answer is yes, then those wishes should include things like health and happiness. Paul once said, "None of these things move me." This doesn't mean you're uncaring or indifferent. It means you understand that to truly understand someone is to forgive them. Marcus Aurelius, an ancient philosopher, said, "When you have no opinion, you won't suffer. When you don't judge, you won't feel pain." He used the metaphor of a bitter cucumber to explain that if something is unpleasant, you should avoid it. In his book, Meditations, He advised to steer clear of obstacles on the path and to keep your mind calm. So yes, there's crime and war in the world, and it has been there since the beginning of time. Since the earliest days of humanity, there has been greed, hatred, and all kinds of negativity. Throughout history, there have been wars, but there has also been love. People have made great sacrifices, and there have been many remarkable individuals who have made positive contributions to the world. So, your purpose isn't to suffer. It's to let out the beauty and greatness that's inside you. Suffering comes from not knowing or understanding something. When you suffer and then realize the truth about yourself, you might ask, "Why am I suffering?" And you'll realize that you are the reason. As you start to change, you connect with the timeless truths of God that never change. These truths are the same yesterday, today, and forever. You don't become overly involved or worked up. Sympathy means sinking into the same problems as someone else, getting tangled in the negative parts of the situation. If you do this, you wouldn't be very helpful as a nurse, counselor, or friend. Compassion, on the other hand, means staying on solid ground and reaching out to help someone who's struggling. You offer support and assistance without getting pulled down into their problems. There's a big difference between sympathy and compassion. As I mentioned before, when you visit someone in a hospital, you should try to uplift them, imagining them as they should be, happy, joyful, and free. You can offer them encouragement and remind them of the healing power of God working within them. Your words and presence can help lift their spirits and restore their health. Empathy means seeing things from another person's perspective and understanding their situation without getting too involved. It's important to distinguish between empathy and sympathy. Instead of getting dragged down by someone else's problems, your goal should be to lift them up. Think of it like a soldier who's been trained to rescue someone who's fallen into a ravine. They don't jump in after them. Instead, they use a rifle, rope, or branch to pull them out while staying safe themselves. Similarly, your aim should be to help others without getting dragged down into their troubles. After trying everything else, I remain firm. I stand on what I know to be true. Sometimes, when you've exhausted all other options, you surrender the problem to a higher power, one that sees everything and knows everything. And when you least expect it, the solution comes, bringing healing with it. There's an old saying that compares doing things the hard way to burning down a house just to cook some beef. It's a silly idea, isn't it? Similarly, many people take unnecessarily complicated routes, like going from Los Angeles to New York via China. Why make things so difficult? The simplest way is often the best. Do things in a straightforward manner, without unnecessary complications. Get straight to the point. When you pray, don't dwell too much on the problem. Remember, the infinite spirit already knows the solution. Don't waste your energy fighting against the problem itself. Instead, focus on the truth and believe that there's always a way out, a solution waiting to be found. Imagine trying to put out a fire with a shovel or a spade. It wouldn't work, right? You can't add power to something that's already all-powerful. So, when you face challenges, confront them directly. But remember, some problems can't be solved by simply fighting against them. In fact, doing so might only make them worse. Sometimes, you need to approach problems differently, like a spiritual paratrooper. Instead of diving into the midst of the problem, you rise above it and connect with the divine presence within you. There, you can find the solution, the way out, and ultimately, a happy ending. Sometimes, facing a problem head-on isn't the smartest choice. There are moments when it's wiser to step back and trust that things will work out. For instance, consider someone struggling with alcoholism, trying to force themselves to stop drinking through sheer willpower, or making promises on the Bible might not work. They might succeed in suppressing the urge for a while, but eventually they might find themselves in the midst of a destructive binge. The key is making a firm decision. If someone decides they want to quit, relying solely on willpower or forcing themselves mentally won't work. In fact, it might even have the opposite effect. This is what's called the law of reversed effort, where the more you try to force something, the less likely you are to succeed. Instead, the solution lies in making a clear decision to give it up. Once that decision is made, there's no problem. They're already on their way to being healed. They should focus on claiming freedom and peace of mind. They can imagine themselves in their usual activities, whether it's working as a lawyer or doing something else. By vividly imagining themselves in those scenarios, they're actually harnessing the power of their mind. They're making their thoughts and visions a reality by focusing on them with all their attention. When you feel tempted to drink or give in to an addiction, try this. Picture a scene in your mind where you're free from those urges. Tell yourself, I have the power of God supporting me right now. Keep doing this quietly and confidently. Eventually, you'll feel compelled towards freedom, sobriety, and peace of mind instead of towards drinking or using. This power of imagination is amazing. Willpower alone won't help much, but when you use your imagination, it's like tapping into a creative force. You can apply this technique to any addiction, like smoking, for example. Imagine yourself as someone who's free and sober, doing all the things you want to do without the addiction holding you back. Keep picturing these scenes in your mind regularly. It's like creating a mental workshop where you can build the life you want. All the power of God will flow towards this focus of attention. Even though the old patterns might still be there, you're slowly replacing them with new, healthier ones. Keep in mind, the struggle you're facing right now is only temporary. You're certain to overcome it. How? By persistently and determinedly working towards your goal. Remember the saying, those who keep trying until the end will succeed. So keep going. The solution will come. As you keep focusing on the new, positive picture in your mind, it will soon become the strongest one. Your subconscious mind tends to accept the most dominant idea. This process is like the return of the law from a wedding feast, which symbolizes the law of the universe. Whatever you deeply impress upon your subconscious mind will eventually manifest in your life as reality. Let your imagination be your ally in this journey. It's a powerful tool that can lead you out of darkness. In the Bible, there's a story about Joseph, which means to add to or multiply. It signifies the importance of imagination, which sets individuals apart and drives progress in fields like science, art, and industry. So allow yourself to relax and release the burden after you've prayed, trusting in a higher intelligence to guide you. Imagine a man sitting on a train with a bag of potatoes. When the conductor approaches, he says, "Put down the bag, the train can handle both of you." Similarly, if you're carrying around extra weight, maybe 50 or 100 pounds of it, aren't you aware that you can lighten your load by learning to let go of your burdens? Perhaps there's something weighing heavily on your mind, something troubling you. Just like this man with his bag of potatoes, you can ease your burden by learning to cast it away. Let go of your burdens and keep moving forward as you focus on spiritual growth. When you do this, all those heavy weights you've been carrying will gradually fall away, making things easier for you once more. Imagine if you could reduce your weight down to 140 pounds in accordance with divine law and order. Wouldn't that be amazing? Instead of carrying around an extra 50 pounds like a heavy iron bar on your back all day long, causing you to feel tired and drained of energy. Wouldn't it be better to let go of that burden? It's exhausting, and it takes away your vitality and enthusiasm. Do you wish to feel light, attractive, and delightful? Would you like to fit into a size 14 or 10 dress, if you're a woman? Make a firm decision to achieve this goal, and truly mean it. Consider why you've been putting on extra weight. Perhaps it's because you don't feel good about yourself, or maybe you're seeking love and acceptance. You might be trying to fill an emotional void with food. You've been trying to address your needs in the wrong way. You don't have to rely on starchy or fatty foods or indulge in ice cream. Remember, you're an adult. You have the power to make healthier choices. Consider visiting a doctor to get advice on a good diet plan. Then firmly decide what you want for yourself. Speak to your subconscious mind and affirm, "I weigh 140 pounds according to divine law and order, guided by divine love. I truly mean this, and it's a decision I'm committed to. This truth is certain and unchangeable. When you sincerely affirm it, your subconscious mind takes notice and starts working towards it. You'll find yourself losing the desire for unhealthy, fatty foods. Once you've made your decision, imagine yourself wearing that beautiful dress, standing in front of the mirror, feeling proud and confident. Picture someone congratulating you on your new, lighter figure. Keep visualizing this scenario. It'll help reinforce your commitment and motivate you towards your goal. Once you make up your mind about something, everything becomes easier. You'll feel more relaxed because you've handed over the reins to a higher power. However, if you keep changing your mind and can't make a firm decision, you won't make any progress at all. The Bible talks about this, saying that someone who is indecisive and uncertain shouldn't expect anything from God. It's like being double-minded, which leads to instability in every aspect of life. When you're faced with a problem, it's important to address it. You might seek advice from a lawyer, a doctor, or someone else who can help. But alongside that, you also trust in a higher power, saying to yourself, "Infinite intelligence is in control. There's a law of harmony, beauty, and love at work here." By having faith in this higher power, you open yourself up to receiving a perfect solution to your problem, revealed to you by the infinite spirit. Sometimes, when you're bothered by things that happened in the past, it's important to remember that the past is over and done with. What truly matters is the present moment. So it's helpful to let go of the past and focus on moving forward. Think about it like this. The future is shaped by your current thoughts and actions. If you sow seeds of peace, harmony, kindness, and beauty in your mind, you'll eventually reap the rewards. Remember, whatever you fill your mind with will eventually manifest in your life. So instead of dwelling on past mistakes or regrets, focus on claiming inner peace and freedom. This will guide you towards better opportunities and a brighter future. As Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, "Your feet may be busy, but your mind can stay calm." Even when facing challenges, trust in the wisdom and guidance of the infinite intelligence within you. It knows all and sees all, transcending the limits of time and space. It's always there to lead you towards the best path forward. Once, people approached Emerson, claiming the world was ending based on calculations from the Book of Revelations. Emerson's response? He remained calm and detached, saying, "That's okay, I can manage without it." He didn't let himself get worked up over others interpreting the Bible literally, without understanding its symbolic nature. The Bible often uses figurative and symbolic language, and the numbers within it have deeper meanings. Emerson knew this and responded appropriately. He reminded everyone not to become overly attached to worldly things. We're all caretakers of the divine, and ultimately everything belongs to God. We're here to use these resources wisely and responsibly. Remember, when we leave this world, we won't take material possessions with us, but we can carry the essence of God's presence in our hearts, along with the wisdom of the mind and spirit. By living with faith and confidence, we'll continue to attract wonderful people and experiences, even in the next phase of existence. It's important not to let anything limit or restrict you. Remember, possessions come and go. People too eventually pass away. So it's important to be willing to let go when the time comes. Your children, for example, are not yours to possess. They're loaned to you from the infinite. Be willing to let them live their own lives and make their own choices, even if they differ from what you expected. For instance, if your son decides to go to Nepal and get married, don't try to interfere or control his decisions. Instead, trust that he's guided by a higher power, and that whatever he chooses will ultimately be for his own good. Letting go doesn't mean you love them any less. It means you understand that everyone has their own path to follow, and it's not for us to dictate or judge. Let them go. Don't interfere in any way. Be open to the idea that they may leave at any time. Give them their freedom because love isn't about holding on. It's about setting free. Love isn't selfish or possessive. For example, a father shouldn't pressure his daughter to stay home just because her mother has passed away and he needs help around the house. True love would want her to be happy, to pursue her dreams, whether that means dancing, getting married, or going to college. If the right person comes along for her, someone who makes her happy and contributes to her well-being, a loving father would be happy for her. Love means wanting the best for the other person, supporting their dreams, and seeing them thrive. Sometimes people might feel obligated to stay because of duty or guilt, but true love always allows for freedom. It's about letting the other person grow and express themselves fully. Holding someone back out of obligation or duty isn't love. It's a restriction on their happiness and potential. There's a natural wisdom that guides your body, the beating of your heart, the breath in your lungs. Don't disrupt it with fear, worry, or anxiety. Instead, trust in the right path for others. How do parents know what's best for their children? They should remember that God knows and cares. Divine love fills their children's souls, guiding them towards what's right. But sometimes, parents try to control too much. They might say things like, "You're hurting me by exploring new beliefs," or "You're abandoning our family's faith." This is emotional manipulation. Instead, parents should be happy that their children have found something that brings them peace and joy. The key is to trust in God's guidance and believe that everything will work out. This concludes the insightful talk by Joseph Murphy on the importance of letting go in life. I firmly believe that letting go is crucial in the process of manifesting and creating our reality. If you're feeling really focused on something and finding it hard to let it go, I suggest distracting yourself with activities like watching a movie or playing a video game. Doing something completely different can help take your mind off it entirely. It's important to let go because when you do, your subconscious mind gets to work. It's waiting to do its job, but it can't fully engage when you're still actively thinking about it because that just adds more information for it to process. So command your subconscious to do its work and then release it. This applies not just to specific goals but to life in general. Just let things go. You'll find that by doing so, you'll get everything you need and you'll live a happier, more joyful life. The infinite intelligence Murphy talks about is always there for you to call upon and use, so there's no need to worry. You can trust it and let go. When you do, it's an act of faith because you've seen it work before when you've released your desires. Have you ever noticed that the things you've wanted and actually experienced, the ones that felt like answered prayers, were often things you let go of? Some of the things you're really longing for right now might only come to you once you've released them. Thank you for listening.